Whatever. Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. Bubbles, little red this morning, but you know, Friday through Monday, you really don't know what to expect. I'm trying to get this little music up here, just sitting over here scheming through the Super Bowl halftime show. Loved it. Man, I was in the right place last night, but absolutely love that. Anyway, crypto. Got Maker up 30%. Awesome. On today, 30%. World Liberty Finance, 7.4%. Not really sure what this one right here is. Haven't seen it before. Decreed. Okay. All right. But quite a bit of red. We did have on Friday, I think it was Friday. Let's see. Ups. Uh-oh. My disclaimer is still showing. So on Friday, I think it was Friday back over here. Yeah, Friday, late on Friday, after market. We did get a bit of a rising wedge over here. I posted up on that rising wedge, bearish divergence, no follow through on the 1 hour time frame. And then, of course, the shenanigans come in. And we try to push a little bit higher. But for the most part, it had been sideways. You can see the little wick over here. We tried to jump up. We almost hit about $73,000 right there. We did manage to take some liquidity off of this high over here. So nice little SFP took place right here. But a couple of rising wedges. You had a little triangular formation in here with the cloud drop that pop price action up. So I ended up getting a lot of false signals over the weekend. I'm still holding that little long position that I was in. The one I said I don't really trust. So it was, well, I said be cautious with it, actually. Be cautious with it, even though I was long, and I'm still long. But to be cautious with the one over here. And it played out really good. Then we ended up getting just a bunch of false signals everywhere. So it was this one right here when we were on stream. And it hit, and then we went into this this bear div right there. You can see bear div there, bearish divergence here. And also, I had this flip to the green, so I could see what bulls were actually doing. So that's why that looks like that. But yeah, bear divs there as well. You can see here how the MACD was flowing out. But I did highlight, just even with that caution, I highlighted, hey, RSI is above the mean. It's the first time it's really rocked like that for a minute. Cloud was starting to drop down. Hadn't really seen a flip from red to green at that point. And we got green on top. Again, it looks different right now, so it's gonna be kind of hard to tell. And then the MACD finally, so you can see how we were riding the lows down here, finally came up. So had a lot of signals to say, hey, this might be okay. A little inverse head and shoulder, blah, blah, blah. But you can see some of the false signals that came in over the weekend. Then you got this one here right now that's probably going to give, because we're back below the cloud at the moment. I did take a look at, let me show you guys something too. I did a screenshot on this, but let me see if I can pull that screenshot up. Hopefully I can get to, let's see. Take a look at pictures and screenshots here. And remember I kept telling you those options expiring? That was a big thing. On Friday. That helped a lot. So if you take a look right here, you see this right here. Well, you see volume at 4,724, and then you see OI here, your open interest here around 15. This was a hedging factor right here. So it wasn't. This is the one I really want to show you though. But this is where a little bit of hedging came in from the pump. So most of your puts were starting to close out there. And here, so you get to the one above before that one. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yep, right here. You can see all of this call interest through here. Right here. See this big number right here? That was a flipping it. We got that pump. So pretty nice, pretty nice. I checked it out this morning, and no, it's too early to really say. Looks a little different, of course. It's gonna look a little different. But here we are over here. Let's flip that on. So still looking pretty chill in here. Still looking pretty good through here. Not really seeing too much down through here. Yeah, still looking pretty good. So fired off got a long signal last night off of that 1 hour, and then the 4 hour tried. So we'll find another setup and see what that pullback's supposed to look like. But we came into exactly what we were looking for, basically about that golden pocket 786 field retracement that was pulled. Let's see here. All right, so here we are, 1 hour. You can see the 1 hour trigger from yesterday happen right here. And it's based on the settings that I have in place for it. Yeah, so not quite, but again, weekend. Nothing has fired off over here just yet. Let me show you this right here though. So this is kind of like what we were looking like here. You can see we was getting the breakdown at right here. Based on the RSI, that's a little breakdown right through here. Back test, reject. And then the 4 hour here, you can see right here. This was from Friday here, where we got this breakup above this level right here on the RSI. And then here is where we started stalling out. And then you can see how you get the swing fail right here. Just looking at the RSI down through here. So initially it was posing as resistance. And I still have this one set to see what like the bulls are doing. You can see no flip has taken place over here. So bears are still running the show over here. We hit the golden pocket 786 right here. So golden pocket, that's about all we did. Yep. Great place for rejection, especially since we're not seeing that follow through. But I did give you, like I said, I did give you a little post in here, just letting you know, hey, you're not be careful right about now. So no real continuation on the 1 hour time frame. You had the clear bearish divergence on the 4 hour time frame, the rising wedge structure, and it was just a combination of stuff that was just like, hey, look out, momentum is gone. It's the weekend, low liquidity. A lot easier to move the market right about now. So let's just flip this. Like this and see if we can't, save face. Now we will end up breaking right here. I end up breaking right here. Just anybody bet on that game? I didn't watch the game per se. I was actually working the venue. I was hosting the game. And I'm not I haven't kept up all season to just go pick a team. So a little late on the short right now. Let's see what else we got in here. Tried working on this Discord again. I can tell you I don't like it already. I'm gonna have to figure something else out if I want to give you guys some free content. So I've been trying to work on that kind of stuff there. I do still have my website. I need to work on that. All right. So just looking here at the weekly time frame, if we can hold that golden pocket 786 coming back down, that'd be great. If not, we're going to look down here to the bottom side of our channel, also where we have VWAP located at. And we're still within this area here of where we had these prior highs throughout 2021 all the way over here through 2024. We still, resting, a little cushion in here from all of this. We got one more level again, just below this right here. It's going to be that 54,903. That's going to be about in line. And we can wick it, whatever. Like to see us hold above it, though. Would love to see us hold above it. Like I said, VWAP here. Ascending channel low. This is just the first touch on the way I have it drawn because it's coming from the highs. Bitcoin is up, 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 and away all the time. So naturally, you would plot this from the highs and not from the lows. So you plot it from the highs and drag it down to the bottom, and then this is what we get. So want to make sure that we're holding within this parallel here. If the worst comes, to fruition, we just want to make sure we're holding within this parallel and maintaining this orange zone right here altogether, this orange zone. Because if we're not holding this orange zone, then we are moving a little bit different. Not just a little bit different, we're moving a lot different than we have previously in the past. Not just that, losing this right here. Let me see. I can take you over here on the monthly time frame right here. So losing this right here would mean what? We've never had a red bar on top, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never had a red bar on top. That to me implies, and you can see how close we would be getting to that if we're not holding here around this golden pocket and we're doing something like this, then for the first time we have a red bar on top. Like, that's super bearish. That would be super bearish. So we should see us holding here. We should not be fading that momentum. And you know what my ending sentence is. Otherwise, Bitcoin is a Ponzi. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Gonna be the same situation over here where Ethereum did fire off a bad signal through here because, like I said, weekend. And this was the one here that fired off on Friday, but you can see how that one got tapped down here at the low. It did fire off a re-entry. The only reason why you can't see it is because I set it to disregard after, before so many bars. And so you don't get a chance to see that one, but you can see where we came up and then we did break. We got a change of character right here. Anyway, it did fire off a re-entry right here. And you got that push there out of Ethereum. Now this is just straight up garbage crap here. Straight up garbage crap through here. Look at all these little wicks through here. Oh boy. Let me hide that. Uh-oh, what am I hiding? Let's see. Just go ahead and hide that for now. And I want to put on QTD so I can just kind of see, back up under this cloud. Back underneath here. It's nothing good when we back under here. That's for sure. Let's see down here. All right, RSI trying to turn up a little bit right here. All right. Some so-so strength coming in. I need to flip this over so I can tell what's happening a little bit better. Let's just push through here though. I don't have the bars on here. I have the area mapped out there. So prior day high there. That was that sweep of that prior day high. I want to see us holding right here and this low. Since it don't show me, I have to do this. So sweat 1993. I mean, unless we're just doing a sweep, it would be nice to hold that low there. I mean, nothing about the higher time frame is actually suggesting that it's not giving any clarity as far as it being, this being a temporary bottom or anything like that. So yeah, Even through here, you can see the rising structure as well. Pop our little heads over here. I'm gonna come back over here and fix this when I don't have you. Have your eyes over here. It's prior week low as well. Bear div. No clear structure over here. So yeah, obvious bear div here. Just flip that red. Obvious bear div. Which we talked about that too, because it takes a lot of work to get up here. You know, I have to have a V-shaped recovery with some real power. You know, a Valhalla candle here. If we're gonna take that out, otherwise you put in that low, and then you want to see a higher low get put in from here, and then you get that breaker structure here on the 4-hour time frame. It's gonna be really hard to do that. Same thing is gonna go for the daily time frame. You want to change market structure over here on the daily time frame. At the moment, it requires price action to be above this point right here. Without that, you know, it's more than likely just going to be bearish divergence, especially how low we got on RSI and all that good stuff. And you can see how we just kind of right here, no break here on momentum. We tapped into it. We may have even broken above it before we got that daily close. And, you know, daily close said, nah. And, you know, we're rejecting from that. So hopefully we, you know, continue that momentum on Tuesday. I would love for it to be today too, but I think today would be more of a false move, Monday type of situation. But yeah, clear rejection there. So we want to see you know, a little lower high here and then a higher low, which we're probably not gonna get. Just keeping it real. We're probably not gonna get that. Let me just fan these out a little bit. So let me go 2 days. We don't have to worry about it tomorrow when I come on stream. I'm not sitting here doing this. Could just extend them all out, like, and that really turn some of them off because we're not entertaining those right now. Let's see, Ethereum there on the daily time frame. Remember my buy position was here at the 786 and also here at this bottom here. I said to you, I wouldn't buy again after here unless price tap down here. So, you know, my accumulation here for Ethereum is still going. And also remember that I said I would cut it if we deviate too far away from this VWAP. So if we end up dropping, price ends up dropping down further below VWAP, we cannot deviate too far from it. Otherwise, I have to cut that that DCA off. I will not be touching it again from this trend line. Here it's too close to this bottom here, which, you know, it just wouldn't make sense. But yeah, a bit of ways here for VWAP. Then I'll consider, well, not just consider, I will take another entry here. Then I'll cut that off because we don't really know what's going to happen from that point. Could be the worst. Let's see, what is this about the existing home sales? It's one thing we talked about here again. Just a reminder of is that we have no sort of we're just straight up here. Like there's no moment where we see like a clear pullback or, you know, a pivot through here. We just don't have that through here. We don't have it until here. So will market makers be looking to get down here and take this liquidity from Ethereum? So that's the thing for me. Are they going to do that? You know, you had one here. You know, price got to pump up and came back and they took that. Price got this one here. You got to, you know, got to move up, came back, took all of that and then some. You know, same thing happened right here. You know, got to push up, came back and took all of that. So do they intend on taking this right here? How likely is it that they leave these people alone? Fulfilled our measured move here in this situation. So 100% fulfilled on that. Yeah, yeah. You could want to play this little 15 minute, but I would treat it like a scalp position, especially seeing that little wick right there. I'm not going to do too much today in the market myself because it's Monday. Besides, sit on my position that I'm in already. Let's take a look at Solana. So Solana fired off a signal over here. It wouldn't have been a bad one, but it probably fired it off again and said, "Hey, redo that." But I set it back to my criteria, which was a reset of zero point 0.5 or something like that. So that would have hit. I mean, really, with this stuff right here, it's really hard because whenever I reset where the stop is going to be, it resets all the stops. So it just kind of makes it look crappy. So I don't touch it. So that's why I say, decide where you want your stop to be. Naturally, all of this up here, you know, would come, they would come back and take all of this liquidity up here. It's not great structure up here. So they would come back and take that. So you just have to determine where you want your stop to be if you see these signals on here. This is 15 minutes. Just take a look at the indicators down here. That looks corrective down through here. So looking for a little bit of a bounce there. A little bit of a bounce, maybe not too much. I turn the cloud on here. We'll leave that one as is just so I can see this. Yeah. Yep. Yep, no follow through anything through here. So yeah, that would have been a great short. Just have to move that stop, determine where that stop is going to be at. Let's see here. So Solana's already taken out the low from yesterday. Right here. I guess what we can expect for Ethereum to do the same things. Go ahead and draw a fib here on this 1 hour time frame. This looks like it'll get got. I did see with Solana though, I did see some pre-market stuff in here on it. Right here. So pre-market loser. You can see Grayscale Solana. So ETF right here. Solana staking right here. Also XRP, another one for pre-market losers right here. Got a lot of active, most active here. iBit is in here. So iShares, Bitcoin Trust, Silver in here as well. I think I did see, gold miners, Vanet, but yeah, you can see XRP, Solana, pre-market losers. We barely moved yesterday. I'm gonna take this off. We barely moved yesterday. I can see that from the 1 hour. Let's see. Now, Sol on the daily did see a break above here. So you did see a little bit of a momentum shift in here. Could get some bullish divergence on this next drop here for Solana. So that's going to be something to watch for. Possible inverse head and shoulder on the RSI. That is something to watch for. So I'm not mad about that. That looks pretty decent. Nice little squeeze down here too if we're going to get that continuation up here, even though it's pre-market, one of the losers here, pre-market. Yeah, that's one thing we can look at is for some bullish divergence, possible inverse head and shoulders there on the daily time frame. Just go ahead and drop this one here. Keep an eye on that. But aside from that, nothing is really showing any sort of a change in there. Also, do be aware, if we're not going to see that inverse head and shoulder, that bullish divergence come in for Solana, we do need to be mindful that we still have the ability to come down around the $40 to $30 territory. Just be mindful of that. I've been saying that now for a very long time. um, a very long time. I've been saying that now. Um, I think before anybody else was saying it, because it was months ago when I started saying it. So, um, yeah. So do be aware of that. Do not forget that aspect. We could see a $40 to $30, 40s, 30s range for Solana if we're not holding up. We're already below the 120, so um, yeah, we're below our bear market territory for Solana. That's the thing that bothers me the most. Let me just come back to this. I don't think. Let me see. Was I able to see it from here? I think. Yeah. So you can see here, like we're way below our bear market territory in here for Sol. Like you've never seen that before. And you only have one other time in here. So it's not like Solana has a lot of historical data for us to go off of. But right here, when we lost that point right there, we lost that. That was, yeah. That's why that's one of the things that might bother me about Bitcoin. It's like we could see some things that we haven't seen before. Like we were all like, well, not all of us, but the crypto space is like this time is different. Maybe this time wasn't different for the down for the maybe this time is different for how far down we go. Maybe that's the difference. Instead of us being like this time is different for how us bouncing and pumping like crazy. Yeah, this time is different for something. Right now, Solana, that's different. That's not just a sweep, that's a run on that bear market low. That is a run on that. So be careful with that. Anyway, I'm not gonna find what I'm looking for. But yeah, be careful with that. So put this back on the I think I want to rock with the yeah. I'll just go back to the 15-minute time frame on this one right here. Let's take a look at XRP while I'm here. Since XRP did show up. Oh, there it is. Right there. So far, XRP fired off over here. Um, Back here would have been good. That was a prior day low. Yeah, prior. It was a daily level. Let me just put it like that. And it's a terrible signal over here. I tell you, some things just can't do what your eyes can do. Because we called this short. And this thing said go long. Yeah, we're still deep under the cloud here on the daily time frame with the cloud cover here. We're still deep under this, like all the way bearish right now. I think we've basically done everything we were looking for here with XRP. We talked about price action coming back down here, taking in that finally chewing into that wick over here, which we got that. I leveled down through here. Uh, we got more than what I was looking for in terms of, um, yeah. Well, we met that measure move and then some. Let's just put it like that. I can actually take this away. That was the pattern that we were forming within here. I'm gonna leave that there in case price wants to come back up and revisit that low. See if XRP. Um, I'm starting to have a brain fart already. Yeah, XRP can go all the way down there. We got down here back to where accumulation started from in here. This whole bar through here is just space and opportunity. Like XRP can really do that. And that's 38.23. I have my drawings. That was 38.23 right there. Like, there's enough data in here on XRP to know that we don't need to be below here. But just the fact that we're in the bear market territory here for XRP. When we first got that October 10th wick down, we held slightly above it, like we didn't tap it in, but we're in it now, and this big block right here, like it's so wide right here, like that's the range of what we can do in here on XRP. So 38.23, that would be natural. That would really be natural, especially if it's losing these highs over here. I mean, where to next? You got this one here, and then you have this right through here. Like, you really have nothing. Let's let me make sure I don't already have this in here. Let me see. Take yeah, already broken below that. So I mean, it would be a full fill. That's what that would be. A full fill of that inefficiency here on XRP. A full fill of this inefficiency right here would be about 64. That could be, I mean, that could naturally be a thing for XRP if this bleeding continues out. To say Bitcoin does more than what it's already doing, breaks below the bottom side of that channel, you can easily see an XRP back down here around 64. And if 63 is, yeah, don't want that. So I don't like that at all. Hmm. Let's see, got this double top in here. Switch that up. Nah, that won't happen. And I hate to say something won't happen. It's just not something that you would expect to happen. Um, yeah. If I take away, let's try by taking away. Take away the wicks. Might make more sense. Dang, that's pretty. That's pretty. But maybe this is it. It looks just like if we go more, because it looks a lot like Solana. Let's see. go back up there for that one. Just say, yeah, so it'd be the low down here if this 102 is what I guess we'd be looking for that. And I did have this as a megaphone, well, broadening, yeah, or megaphone. Did have this like that. Let me make sure that that's making all the way sense. Yeah, yeah, that's. I'll look for something like that. Otherwise, yeah, be a full field of this inefficiency. If you're looking down here about 64 cents for XRP, 64, 63. You don't want less than that. You really don't want less than the 64. Um, if you're not maintaining the high here, which is, yeah, we're not maintaining that. Oof, 118. So 118. Yeah. I want to see another number here. Okay. I'm trying to see where that was coming from. Yeah, I'm not looking too pretty, but can look for price action. I mean, that's additional cushion in there if they respect this trend line. Otherwise, they might want to take liquidity over it. And like I said, 64 um, cent XRP. Yeah, back on these highs down here could be the thing. Just yeah, taking back all of that. Wow. Yeah, I think this is how I had it initially when I shared it a while back. It was like this megaphone pattern like that. Let me see this on a 4 hour because I think that's what I did. Take Yeah, you can see how we're still trading below the cloud here on the 4 hour time frame. We're not even above the scale line there, so haven't done anything different here. And let me take. Turn it off. See. What parallel that is. Well, let me go daily. Oh, that's an old parallel. Get rid of that. I'm not seeing it, but I know we did have it plotted out. Um, that and also Sui. Sui was another one that had the megaphone pattern on it. So while I'm here, I'll take a look at Sui. Let me turn that back on. I think this was okay. I'm gonna have that at. I should move to it. Yeah, but Sui's is a lot broader too. Let me see, what were we at when we did that Sui? Uh, Yeah, Sui's was a lot broader, so I'm gonna do it from this one right here, even though I don't like it. It was something like that. I think I may have line drawn it with the parallel channel or something, but I know it was something like that for Sui. I don't see that happening. One thing I did talk about though here with Sui is I don't know a reason why Sui would. I don't know. From my understanding, there's not a lot of spot holdings on Sui, and that hurts it. But Sui does have the potential of coming down here towards this 23. Um, that's going to take all of this down here, you know, this liquidity that's sitting down here. And Sui doesn't have enough information on the monthly time frame, kind of like Solana doesn't. Um, but I think that this was Sui's bear market low was that where that wick um, hit at from that October 10th wick. Hold on, oh yeah, let me do that. Sui, believe it was. I think it tapped it exactly to turn that one on. Oh, not quite. But yeah. For Sui, it's like 46.25. I don't see a reason why. Like if Solana's able to break through and push through it, and it has a lot of institutional adoption, Sui can do the same thing. So that could just absolutely fail through here. Now I stopped my accumulation on Sui at the 98. Like that was it for me. So everything I have sitting in Sui right now, it'll just be, it'll be what it'll be. Um, Hopefully it doesn't hit zero. But yeah, I mean, and Sui hasn't. I mean, not that it has to retrace this wick, but it seems very highly likely that they would retrace this wick. I think Sui's. Let me do it like this. Let me see what it looks like if I do it like this. Yeah, I recall that. That's about how I had it before with Sui when I first did this. Was that wick to that wick, and then that you know that ended up being. And so I had this. I think. I think I might have had this going across the. No, no, maybe it wasn't how I had it. But we're here, so we need to hold on to that 67.93. But it's likely that they will take this liquidity down here off of Sui. It's very probable that that liquidity would be taken. And why not take that too? So 23.15 will probably be like the worst case scenario here for Sui. And trust me, that's not. I'm not calling that a prediction. I'm just looking at what the probable outcomes could be for it, and that could be one. Coming back up, we haven't. Yeah, momentum is still slipping down. Obviously, if we were doing, yeah, because I had to draw out a big area here for this one, which I did not like. This area here was super wide, like that, and that's if you draw your lines like that. It's a good way of doing them. Um, Otherwise, just forget that. And just do the basic. So that low is going to be 67.93, so about 68 there. And then after that, you really don't have anything else below that point. Just pull this out a lot more. Don't have anything below that point other than to possibly assume that Sui would come into 23.15. Yeah, there's nothing else below that. This 1 month right there. Let's check back on ADA. I won't try to pull all of these out, but I do like the, yeah, that was, I think we discussed this already on ADA 2. It was like, this is the potential. Oh, we shouldn't be going any lower than this. I'm going to check it on the monthly as far as the other ones. They are. There's one more. Yeah, there's nothing else below here for ADA. And ADA's already taken, I think. Let's see. It's 22. No, the low is 25. So ADA hasn't taken this liquidity right here. And if it does, then, I mean, got the highs right here, about 15 cents. Mm, mm. This is terrible. It's probably another level in here somewhere. Maybe one or two more. I can tell from the swings in here. There are some more levels down here, but I mean, naturally, I'm just working off of this. I would consider the high here. Oof. Dang. Turn that noise off. Yeah, this is a full flip. Almost anyway, just for the ribbons that I'm using. Anyway, that it says this is about a full flip right here for um ADA, which means it'll be a long time. I mean, unless something miraculously happens here, it'll be a long time before maybe it have to be something like this. See, the last time it got like this though, that dark red kicked in. That was a low. It's like 1, 2, 3 bars down. I think it 1, 2, 3 bars down, and then it started to rally back up. So maybe, I mean, maybe something. 1, 2, 3, 4, deep in the red. That one right there. ADA could be bottoming. I mean, that's the hopium, but it would be more sideways than anything for a minute. Up slightly, but sideways, and then probably back down again. But this could be something. This could be something. Taking that liquidity, took that. Not quite taking this right here yet. If they want those equal lows right here, then I would call that the end of this downtrend for ADA. That might be pretty good in terms of taking a position on ADA. If you're willing to take that risk, I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess that would be it. Let's see on the monthly. Think, yeah, it's spilling over, but it's spilled over right through here too. But that's at the tip. I don't know. Um, yeah, possibly that is a low though. It's possible. If it's not, like I said, that little extra bit from that monthly time frame or weekly, whatever. Yeah, that 22 could be it here for ADA. RSI, I mean, on the weekly RSI, we're looking at what, a 28, and then we look down here. It's close to some sort of a recovery could be coming in for it. We do got a nice, well, it's a little bit too much of a spread. So, like I said, it would be like a little bounce and then maybe a retracement, something like it did right here. You get a little bounce, then a retracement, especially when you have this big space in between your delta and your MACD. That's just a continuation. So that they need to start converging closer together. And they're very spread right here. So a little bit of a late signal, but more trustworthy. I might actually pick up some ADA. If it takes out this liquidity right here, I will swoop me up a little bit. Not, yeah, I will swoop up a little bit. So I'm not mad about that. I don't have any now, so it won't bother me. If somebody who has it, I can see a frustration right now. Um, I hear hype hasn't really pulled back much since it got this pump over here. Hype didn't have a lot of places in terms of weekly levels throughout here. Uh, but let's see, probably could. Let me see. Let me take away this. Just work off of these pivots through here. Just do. That's a major one right there. Let's flip it gray. That's a major one. This little sideways trickery right here. Let me do this one. All of that. We'll do this one. Just somewhere around in here. And just in case, right there on I don't feel like I should have done that one. And no, I don't feel like that. And it's part of this whole move to the upside, not necessarily it was a pretty decent move up from that one though. Yeah. It's not the cutest wick there. And then you can see how we paused out here at the 50 on Hyperliquid too. It's not quite ready. It looks like it might continue though. I mean, we don't have any confirmation over here. We're stopped out at the mean on everything. We stopped out at the mean on the RSI, the mean on the MACD, the mean here on the Bollinger. Yeah, so um, we took a wick at the mean, so it might not be quite ready yet. If it does get a pullback, I will be looking for some bullish divergence. That's about what we would get through here, especially just looking at this here, this correction it got across there. See how it did it here, where it pushed. This is I think I was on like the 4 hour, and I tried to. I was interested in I took a long off of Hyperliquid looking at this stuff in here. But then when the momentum break happened and it started to slide, there was no way I could hold it. I kept saying I was bullish on it. And yeah, it got the break and then it did that. So we could look for another little back test here, something like that, if it's going to continue down, just based on this little top and tail right here. You can see the next levels through here probably be like 16 cents. So let's see if that would invalidate. I don't want the back test because I guess momentum would have to be lower than price action in this case. But for now, see 28. Look for price action to come back and see if we can't flip this 28 into support this go round, which is the prior highs there and here. Should be able to hold that as support. If not, it looks like it could be like a golden pocket right here. Nope, 786. So 786 right here. Then you got the prior highs of this step right here. Do let me see it on the 2 day. We've already tested that. Yeah, it's not going any higher from here. It doesn't look like it. Look at these wicks. All of these wicks through here. Yeah, so maybe down here at the 786. Yeah, you can even see the divergence through here. I guess if somebody's still wanting to get in on Hyperliquid, you're going to get that chance to do it right here. Bulls are still in control on that 1 day time frame. I don't think there was anything else in here unless you guys are interested in BNB. Just kind of try to stick to the top players. I don't even think that I don't even think that Binance has reached fair market territory just yet. But let me just check on that. Yeah, it did. So it's in here. So we'll be looking for BNB to not violate this low right here, apparently. So 400. So we'll be looking for here. It's done very, very well through here. I don't see where it's ever had an expansion. Just 1, 2, 3 times. You know, 1, 2, 3. And then this is the fourth time here. So we're looking for it to not take out this low here, which if we draw a fib on this, I don't know if I should take it from here. So I'll take that off. Yeah, 786. We're in the golden pocket. So 786. And if it's not that, let's just see. So it doesn't look like I have anything on this time frame over here. At least we know we've already violated this. Fix that. Yeah, I think that would be it. Let me make sure. Just see. Yeah, so this would be the connecting low for here. Would be here. If things did get really bad, then I would assume that this this liquidity down here would be a go for BNB. I would assume it would be. You know what? Let me see. Dang, that close to that liquidity. I would assume that this liquidity down here would be a target. Yeah, and this looks like it. Let me see. Looks like that bottom line kind of taps with this one. Let me just make sure. Oh no, okay. So you got that. Separate this. Not much to separate. Hey, Crypto Don One. I did, but I'll take it back over to Bitcoin. So I know that if you weren't here, one thing that I was looking for on Bitcoin, I mean, we got the little bounce in here, but for a tap of the the channel here, the bottom side of the channel where we have the VWAP at, and we also have the golden pocket. We didn't actually make our way down here into that. It's not a necessary thing, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking for that to take place. As far as where we hit when we got the bounce was the prior high over here, and I just line bias and draw out my lines like that. So that's exactly what we tapped right in here for Biddy. I was sharing how with the IBIT shares, how it was a flood of money that came in. I know a bunch of people are like, well, CZ pumped it. No, actually there were a lot of put expirations. Like the market was piled in with puts, and we had those expirations on Friday, and that helped give the market a boost. Because a lot of people are going to be taking profit, closing out those positions, especially if they're at a loss. And then market makers don't tend to move too far away from where you have like the largest strike at, and so we moved back into that strike is what we did on Friday, up until market closed. And got that rise and wedge and start to get that little bit of a breakdown. It still looks like there are some long-term accumulation happening. If you take a look at the IBIT, taking a look at the IBIT graph right here. So far, and this, I don't think that this portion here has updated yet, not for today. But you can still see that there is some long-term accumulation happening in here. It was a lot more than this Friday, but that's basically what it boiled down to. A lot of options expiring on Friday, which was just a ton of puts. So that would just be the case. You got a little bit of hedging that was happening right here, and you can tell it because of the lower volume here compared to the open interest here. So yeah, it's more accumulation happening right now. More people are buying the dip than anything on Bitcoin, on IBIT. Yeah. So this pullback, if this remains true, this little correction that we're seeing now since Friday, we should hold up for now. Like maybe we get more of a bounce to the upside, little correction back down here from Friday's false move Monday, whatever. But we should maintain a higher low, get more of a bounce, and then we can proceed with the continuation to the downside if that's going to be the case. But it looks like money is stepping in. They're buying, they're accumulating in here on Bitcoin. There's nothing really in terms of signals for today. Let's see. Yeah, nothing really in terms of any new signals. I don't trust any of this stuff in here right now because you can see like the liquidity can make anything happen in here. So just firing off a bunch of bad signals in here right now. I was expressing how we're below this dynamic cloud in here on the 15-minute time frame. We had zero follow through here on the daily. We got, let's see, from the weekend, but I don't know if we. Okay, so we did come up. Okay, yeah, so we should be pretty decent over here. Like this pullback should be just a small pullback, or we shouldn't take out the low over here. I don't see us taking out this low. We put in a higher low and then we continue up some more. But the 4-hour, let's see, yeah, we put in a pivot. So we have to do it from here because if we're not, it makes sense. I'm sorry because I was looking at this and I drew it from that low. Forgive me. Forgive me. Come here. Yeah. So we should maintain here. Because if we're taking out this, then that was, you know what, I have to do, well, it's easier if I just draw a line. Time frame will make a difference, but I don't see a reason that we would be taking this out, just considering the money that's pouring into IBIT right now. So look for this bounce here, a little bit of continuation. We do need to get back above here. Everything else in here, yeah. Let's see. Okay, been trading since 2020, 2017. It's a long time to be in the market. So you used to the chaos, the madness that is Bitcoin. Yeah, if we do break down, I still see us putting in a higher low for now and then continuing up higher. That's not shabby. Take a look here. Yeah, no mean revert here on the 4 hour time frame though. It's about the only thing. I did also share in here, like on the daily time frame, you can see how we actually, I didn't share on the daily time frame, did I? But that we could potentially be looking for a bull dip, but we don't really have any follow through down here in this regard. Like bears are still very much in control of the daily time frame. Um, yeah, and it would be it's a big spread between bulls and bears here on the daily time frame. So a little small bounce and push back down before we see a reversal. I don't think we go like an entire year of correcting on Bitcoin. I don't think we do an entire year. Hopefully, that's not the case because we got down here pretty fast. We got this drop pretty fast. Over here, it took us, I think it was like 365. Oh, that's a little right there. 364 days to make that drop there. 52 bars for that 77.4% drop there. And here it's only been 119 days and we've already done a 52% drop on Bitcoin. I don't think that this, like, we would have to be breaking that low of the bear market territory low if we're going to do, let's just say, even this 30 down here. Somebody's calling for 30. I'm not really calling for it. I do have a line through here uh, as the last place of interest, but I'm not really calling for it. And we got here so fast. We won't do 365 days on this. We won't, unless it is like I said, from here, and then we just kind of chop through here, maybe come back, maybe just come back somewhere in here, and then we lose that and do something like this. I could see, but I really wasn't paying attention to the fact that we rejected off of that 71.30. See that now. When we opened up that last candle, rejected off of that. So that's at 65, 502. I just want to see. I think I did this before, but I cannot recall. Um, That's something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, and then I did a measurement. I measured out all of the bearish scenarios through here on Bitcoin. And we did, I might have deleted that, but we looked at the measured move in here off of this ascending broadening top formation in here, which that was the breakdown there. That puts it into the 786. If that happens, um, we did this so-called head and shoulders right here, which I'm not convinced of. From the way it looks right now, I'm not convinced of it. And that put us at the 786. And then the bear flag, here, the pole for the bear flag through here. That puts us at the 786. I don't know if there's another bearish pattern in here that I didn't see. Um, but all three of those would suggest that we do break below this VWAP and hit this 786. And I think that's 786 when I looked at it. That means that we're outside of the typical behavior in here. Because this is supposed to imply that we don't come below this low right here. But like I said, those measured moves hit there. We are within, like I said, that channel, this channel right here. We shall see. Yeah, we need to hold the line right here. Honestly, hold the line right here. Do no more than that. And that same VWAP is coming off of the low, which that's the, oh hell no. What changed? Forgive my language. Forgive my language. I drew him from the same spot. Uh, yeah, I drew him from the same spot. You can see that, right? This is the dollar index. I mean, it's between that golden pocket and that 786. So, like I said, we take the measured moves off the all three bearish patterns. Say we come to the 786, which means we take out this low right here, which means we're outside of what we would normally see for Bitcoin, as far as I'm concerned. We're outside of that, and this was just taken from the same low from the bear market lows of 2022. But using the Binance chart, that suggests the 786 is our final destination, which we know historically, Bitcoin falls into the 786.886 platinum pocket. That would make the rest of the altcoins look like total garbage. Yeah, it is a lot. It is life changing money in this space for sure. Sorry, I know the Coin King replied to you, but it is life changing money in this space. It is, especially when you get these lows like this, but it's also, heartbreaking because a lot of people, get stuck hodling. A lot of people get told when they come into the space to hodl, to hold it. And as long as you hold it, you don't lose any money. And that's just not true because some things just don't come back. Like you're holding a bag that's doing nothing. It's the same thing. A lot of this stuff is just not going to come back. That's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. I know the other thing I was sharing in here too is that when I look down here, like there's never been a red bar. Um, this still implies that we're corrective at best there. We look like we're far from any sort of um, resolve in here right now. Not even any sideways purple or anything like that. Barely skate below 50. Let's see how to fix that. It's the first time we actually broken below there. So in that case, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave it like it is. So when we break below here, I can look for price to break back above it. Um, that's if we break below it, right? Look for price to break back above it. That's a good entry. I'm gonna look for that on Biddy. Something to look out for, guys. That RSI swing, fail and reclaim. If we get it, like we're still above it. If you just do it like it was prior, like it was before, instead of maybe, just maybe, you may have to do this. So just put two in here. Uh, but I like it like it was since that was a good indication there. But it got the bullish divergence play on the first one. That was a fail. So we haven't even tapped anything. Usually we'll see that tap something too, but never seen a red bar. I mean, yeah, never seen a red bar to the upside. Um, Always green. These bear deals though. These bear deals be given. Ew. Yeah. This implies corrective and continuation of um, even if we come back down into here, might not be what everybody's expecting. Um, yeah, discipline is key. Discipline is key. We hit support on USDT dominance back down here into this little zone in here. We hit support. This was kind of like the last zone for me for USDT dominance. I guess we have to start looking. Let me just drag this in. I would still say first on a pullback for USDT dominance. If it comes back in here, I would start to look at that midpoint again since we absolutely blasted through that midpoint the first time. Look for a rejection there. If we're not seeing a rejection there this time, then you know I would look for a rejection there. That's what we were looking for the first time right here. We just didn't get it. But that zone still ended up working. Was looking for a rejection here. We have these two peaks right here from that double top. That liquidity has been taken now. I mean, and they took this liquidity right here. Also, I think we took that liquidity right there. We have those semi-equal highs in here. So there's really nothing else for them to want to grab. Yeah, there's really nothing else for them to want to grab through there. Um, I mean, got that. We have this right here. But I would go back to looking for this midpoint of that zone to be resistance. Just like I'm looking for Bitcoin to put in a higher low, I'm looking for USDT dominance to put in a lower high right here. Otherwise, there's nothing left but to grab that up there, which means Bitcoin ends up at that golden pocket today or below that channel line and that VWAP that we can see from the index chart. Binance chart is showing it at the 786, which a lot of confluence around that 786 too. A lot of historical price action uh, data for that 786 as well. So let's see. Let's see over here. Yeah, just the inverse to Biddy. VIX. On a rampage. Let me put VIX on a wow or something like this. I haven't looked at it in a minute, so none of this is gonna make sense anymore. Let's delete those. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna delete it. Yeah, VIX is on a tear. Mm. Very common. Take a look at S&P. Actually, I have to do it here. I like this 4 hour. SPY here. You have this sort of broadening formation right here on the SPY as well. So if SPY, I mean, it fulfilled this double top right here, then you can see this, this low over here and this descending trend line right here. but based on this here, it's not like a megaphone pattern or something like that. So it has a wide range of volatility. If I extend this out here, you can see right through here how that top hit that exactly right there. So another push up, let's just say that happened today, we'll be looking somewhere around about 700 here, 701 for the SPY. I had to double check. Got SPY, got SPX, both the same, right? And that looks like if this RSI was to continue and not fail and swing below this 50 again, that's what price action would be. It would be back up here about 700. That would be a good place, I assume, if it continues to respect this barrier that it has in this entire zone through here. We got this sideways kind of up to the right. You know, did take out that low right there, but that doesn't matter. This can still move back up here. This time frame doesn't look like it's going to go too far. I know a lot of people are anticipating that. As far as I was concerned, it could potentially be back on this line right here, but I don't know about that. Not right now. That's done its job. So 700 is a good thing to look for. 701. Just throw that little extra change in there about 701. You see this RSI continuing up. That's what that's going to be. No, candle formation suggests it doesn't. If we're doing like right here, it would look the same in that regard to what we have there. It would look the same right in here. And that was the same thing we got right here too, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same thing we got right there too. And validation of this leg up is all the way down here. It's so close to this. It's a common pattern. I don't go back too far. I think SPY came up. Did not. TQ is too much. Let's take a look at gold here. This over here so I can see it. I put some internal levels in here for gold. That's why you see these double boxes in here. Just wanted to catch these little smaller swings in here. For it fires off too many signals in here though. That's for sure. Uh, this is still pretty decent. No follow through here on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see here on the. I'm still holding my little gold long. Um, Structurally. That was that little rejection that we got on Wednesday. And since then, really nothing aside from this break that's already happened. There it is. It looks like. It's actually not there on that, but definitely on in terms of strength. Bearish divergence right there. It's not bad though. This probably looks like Bitcoin in some sense, a little bit. Yeah, that looks corrective right through here. This just looks corrective. Turn off. Okay. Yeah, that is inside this range too. Bear still running show over here. What's it about to do? Me just going into the golden pocket with a closure is gonna break the structure in here again. I think that's. Do we have anything in here? No, nothing. I mean, we held really nice through here on gold. We already know that. That momentum line through there. But if for some reason we do fall back, uh, I'm going to say that this would be a little bit bearish in terms of this pattern coming from the lows in here. We could probably do what we did over here, but this is a little bit different. Silver. Silver was, what was silver again? It was actually a pre-market gainer. Silver. Silver with the gap up. I trust. So let me just take a look at that. Yeah, did get a little gap up. Let's see that. So it'll be, oh yeah, yeah. Got a lot of strong bids in here on silver. Um, but we're around that 70 already. We gapped up from it, so let's see. Right now, you even got a positive gamma flip since then as well. This was probably on Friday. Yeah, this was Friday's data. The positive gamma flip in here on silver. Possibly that 73.50. And then find some resistance somewhere around through here on the 73.50. Yeah, it's not gonna update just yet. This is showing all the way over here, about 79. This hasn't updated yet. This is still for Friday. $73.50, which okay, I already did that, so I can't wait to see it when it opens. Never drawn any stuff out on the IBIT shares, but it basically looks the same. Let me see if that's the same low. Let me see. know we've already broken this one on silver, but just see what happened right there. Trying to do that. Mm. I don't know if we get that bear flag measure moving here like we did, like the one that I measured out. Let me just add this. Uh, we do still have that bear flag measure move. Doesn't mean we get it, but my bad. Probably should have just added that right here. That would send it back down here. You got two ups right here. Silver. I mean, bear div on the 4 hour time frame, just like Bitcoin and everything else is really trying to. Actually, not. No, you don't. Not really. Not really. Through here, baby. A little something right there. Um, that was really more so about this push to the downside than anything. Didn't actually match what was happening down here at the lows. And then this was, yeah, that broke. Back test. December 15th. Yeah, I mean, doesn't really look sustainable to me right now. Not right now. Maybe at best. Be the same thing. Validation is going to be below this low here, which is 73.58. That would be the invalidation for this move up. Don't really know till market opens. And I don't think anything changed here. Yeah. lower time frame market structure change, but that's it right now on this. That looks funny. Measure that out. Just in case. Yeah, a lot of buyers stepping in on silver though. I did notice that when I went back over there, but that data hasn't really updated. But there are a lot of buyers stepping in on silver at these lows. So channel break to the upside, that would be the measure move if we're not going to continue down on that bear flag. I mean, he did break above this little trend line in here on silver. You also had this look very corrective through here. That break up there from the 1 hour. But I don't know about this. See this? Know what we call this. It's like desperation. It looks just like this, which looks just like this. And that's just if, because a descending channel tends to break to the upside. But, rising bearish momentum. I would be careful. It's a lot different than this, but a lot of interest right now. Gold, silver, copper. Some of the information I gathered over there. I'll go ahead and delete this. Uh, saying about this the other day. Um, this thing has no respect for this line right here. Let me take that away. No respect for it. Little Bart Simpson. Yeah, they'll come back for this liquidity right here. I might even give it like a no, that's a little too flat. It's a little too flat. I definitely can see this liquidity in here getting taken on silver. I mean on copper. Copper. Turn this thing off. No, I don't want that one. So I get for having so much stuff on this thing on chart. Just trying to see that. For Yeah, 4 hour will put in some bear dips though. I mean, unless market gets a little bit impulsive today. Let's see, daily. Yeah, covered that. Drop down. Yeah, this chart is still bullish. It's hard to tell it. Figure out what that is. Is that what that was? Dang. It's heartbreaking when you find something after the fact. You're like, man, I could have caught that. But we did, off of the deviation, but not that top like that. That's one heck of a clean top. So ascending broadening is typically a bearish formation. So if this comes back down here, be looking forward to break it. I mean, it'd be sort of similar to Bitcoin scenario, I would say. Don't need that. Don't need this anymore either. Although price action hasn't really been deviating too far from this. It's the prior highs and daily time frame. It's one big parity, right? Let's see what happened here. Jackpot. I think. Maybe not. But we had some clear taps to find where we cap out at. That reads around 72, but clearly it's doing way more than that. It's in there somewhere though. This is crazy. I was held like that initially. I'll go ahead and do a measure move on this for the downside though. I know we don't think it's likely. I don't have a point right now, so I set it up under one for today. Since I don't have a point. Let's see if there's anything relevant to this. Okay, looks like an interesting place. It really does. Let's see, weekly. Makes plenty of sense to me. Yeah, makes plenty of sense to me. And actually, if I move it for this low now, saying that was the case. Or see, the line we had just did was, I think that was going through here. So that matched that too. Just out of curiosity, not quite. Rejection. Let me just see this. I think this is down. Yeah, that's going down. Hit two. Let me change that so I can be a little bit better. Check this last one just to be sure. That worked right there. No closures above it. to there. I think copper might have topped too. Let's just look at the monthly. Let me clear these out. Monthly. Bitcoin look like it's continuing that rejection to the downside for now. But we're still above that pivot. We got the little bear flaggy there in the 15-minute time frame. Should I be walking? Drag this around a little bit so I can see. Let me just drop it right here off the beginning of time. I still say so. And that if that didn't hit perfectly without trying, ooh. It doesn't look like a lot from the distance, right? And we can cancel that wick that went over because that's a clear rejection. Clear. Yeah. Might see a 406 copper. Let me just do this. Yeah, that's that from the beginning of time. Then that's that measured move from the ascending broadening that we can tell from. We saw that from what, daily? Yeah, from daily. I think we might be on to something with copper. It doesn't tell us what we're gonna do right here though. In the middle of price action, so I mean at this point it'd be no sense in trying to mess with it, but we at least have something for the future. So if we are seeing price action fall off, everything should match, like price action and RSI should match up with this low right here. It should. Even if it's a SFP that we have to look for, it should match up with that, unless I just need to do. Let's see from the weekly though. Block this on the weekly. Come on. First time, unless we have to look for an SFP. Off this, I'll block this. Is that right? That's kind of plaguing me a little bit. The other one I had obviously wasn't for this. Okay, hold on, let me change that. Delete it. Be easier. Let's see that. Yeah, take it back. First two don't count. But it called it here. That's the third touch. Called it here on the fourth touch. So that's something to look for on the weekly. Should match up. It should. Let's see what on the monthly. That's like the cleanest I've seen it here. Let me just do that too, just in case. Yeah, that's about the cleanest I've seen it. Before that, it looks like it was tapping this pretty good. It did. Yeah, before that, that was it. Second touch. Yeah, I think we just kind of go sideways from here, kind of sideways, and possibly down until we finally see a break of this line right here. I don't think this line holds anymore. It's already had one bounce there, two bounces there. Then it held above it throughout all of this here. So if it rolls back over, I would expect for it to break it, look back down here, which should be this measured move here, regardless of what time frame you do it from. And then if you're into copper, I mean, it takes some time for that to play out, like several months, but I think it's a good formula. If you're looking for something off of that, I probably should have taken a little bit more time off of this while Bitcoin is still sitting still over there. Uh, did that measure move for that? If that were to be the case, we know that we already broke this. It's not showing up on this chart. It's blocked off somewhere. I don't know why. Oh, it's on the 2 week. I'm sorry. So we know that we had already broke this one right here. With this move over here, we broke this. That was the last bounce we got off of it. Was that candle right there? So we saw that one happening. We were below the 50 when we got this candle wick right here, but by the time we close, yeah, it can't easily invalidate it. So you have to pardon that. I'll hide it for now since that happened. That does give it some bullish divvies, of course. You know, RSI was like 90, what, 92, 93, and something. It was crazy. It was crazy. That might have been the SFP on that line too. How far back this is. Yeah, rejection, SFP, rejection right here, rejection right there. Hide stuff up here. What is it? Hide that. Hide that. Yeah. Then it managed to do that, which was crazy. That part was really crazy. Let's see. Yeah. So that was the top. That was the top. Even if we bounce around in here a little bit, I think that that was the top right there. for silver. I'll still put an alert on it, just in case some shenanigans happen. So weekly, monthly, a little bit too much noise. Way too much noise. A long way for something like this happening. But we do still have a monthly break that will happen at some point. But we're far off from anything like that happening. That's right here. Unless you did the one right there, which I don't trust that one. Should be the low to here. Yeah, the RSI was, 90, 94, 95, something like that. Definitely topped. Don't get anything from there. You'll likely not get anything from here. I want to overreach. Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything from that. I already figured that, which was true. It's just through here, just like copper, I suppose. Even that was, oof. Yeah, got nothing. I'm gonna keep trying to find it. RSI is about as good as it's gonna get. And this little move right here is hitting, what was that? Golden pocket. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Bitcoin, even though it's not doing anything, it's just kind of sitting there, doing nothing. Just so everybody can still see it. This looks a little risey or bear flaggy, at least rising. About to break back down right there. Continue this move out right here. I need to do a hedge myself. A little bit too late. at least take this. I think I'll take this little bit right here. See what happens, but just a hedge. Do as much. Yeah, I won't do as much as I have on the long, but I'm gonna go ahead and take that short from here. Should have did it yesterday, but I couldn't. Actually, I was working. Yeah, because the 4 hour did fire off. It went negative. I saw it happening on Ethereum. Actually, I did see that earlier yesterday, but it was either earlier yesterday or last night when I got back home. It was one of the two, but I did see that that curve down, and then I was looking for a short in here anyway. I had actually was over here working on something, and I put a weight on it, like just wait for this to happen, but it still would have it still would have came across wrong for me. But I was looking at this right here, and then we ended up getting that spike. So I was waiting to see how price is going to react once it got back to about 71, and it was just going to be for a 3 to 1, but I would have held through it anyway. But we ended up getting that wick. We ended up getting. I don't know if I still got that in here. If I might have deleted it. Let's see. Let me turn this off. Actually, I don't have to turn it off. You can see it. I think. Hold on. What was that short from? Yeah, it threw off two terrible signals. I think I might have deleted those. I think I did. 'Cause I don't see it. Yeah, I deleted it. I said that was like 70, 71 something. Yeah, that would have stopped it out anyway. Turn the fake move back on. But this one did do decent right there. That yeah, it's just weekend crap, garbage. We'll see how this goes. This looks authentic. That continuation down, at least from this time frame. So I just did a half size on that short compared to what my long is, just to hedge, because it is more money stepping in buying these dips than not. And since bears are in control, I'm gonna flip this back like that. Focus on that only until it changes. Even with the positive MACD. We talked about the potential for that swing, which kind of lines up with this right here. Can be adjusted. I just like it like that instead. So I can see where it might fail. If it's gonna fail and break down, it would be right here. Otherwise, I'm wrong and I just kill it. Look back at that 1 hour. Goal about to get a negative cross on the 4 hour. Like it hasn't confirmed it yet, but it looks like it. Like that's the situation with gold too. Just go back to that 15 minute. Just dragging it out. We don't really have any data coming out today. Nothing that I could see. Not for today, Monday. Yeah, we don't really have anything important, like super important in here. Tuesday, however, we do have core retail sales month over month and retail sales month over month. You got some medium impact and low impact stuff in here as well with the employment and the import prices. We go through that. On Wednesday, we have average hourly earnings month over month, non farm employment change, and unemployment rate on Wednesday. That'd be a doozy. We got GBP month over month on Thursday. Unemployment claims for the U.S. on Thursday as well before market opens. And then we have, of course, CPI month over month, CPI month over month, and CPI year over year. So just CPI, bunch of CPI data on Friday. So we have some stuff that'll start tomorrow, but nothing necessarily for today. Got anything? Let's see. Not that I'm gonna cover this. I just wanted to see like what next week is looking like for us. Okay, FOMC meeting. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so you'll see some turbulence in metals then for sure. Um, all three suggest that they may have topped out. Gold will be surprising though. Gold will probably be surprising. SPY still holding up so far. So far it's good. I can drop down to a lower time frame, kind of assess it. And so far it's fine. Come on, Bitcoin. Even this, I would consider it a bear div. It's really, really, you can say that. I'm trying to push back up there. You can say that. Uh, for that pivot right there. Just trying to bounce back up there. I don't see any strength from it. Yeah, I don't really see any strength from that. Doing that chart templates. I wonder how many people took that um, over the weekend. That little triangle. It would look different. It would look more so something like that. Might even be able to put this like that. It looks weird, but you get the point. See if it even hit. Yeah, it did. Then some. Retail patterns are so interesting. So we go from that. We go from this. And then we put in this rising wedge right here. And then we go for the double top. This is all the stuff we did. Then we go to a double top like this. And then we'd be looking on this double top to work out. So then it's like we put a trend line through here. It's just retail pattern trading. We put a trend line right here. You can see how we held up right there. Let me drop that in like that. I don't even know if that's right because I don't have the magnet on right now. Uh, but it would have been something like this. Let me just do it like that, and a measured move on that. Well, first of all, we had this little situation right here that if we did this right here on that, hopefully I didn't go too far over. It's really hard without having a magnet on. We got that, and we got this breakdown measure move right here, as you can see, but that came later after we got this little false move or attempted pump right there, which would have been the double top pattern, which just going to the neckline there on the double top. And then we break that. It looks like we break that right here. So we break that right here. That gets us down through here and fills that out. And then, or you can say we got like a triple top. Like you can go with a triple top too. Like, but that double top got invalidated with that wick above. But that's how it would have went. And so then we'd be looking for a triple top fulfillment. It's really a lot easier on that if I just let's see if I did that like this. That's how I know my line is off now. And I drew it. So then we're looking for a neckline break. I probably would have had to do something like this. I really don't like that neckline, but let's just say that that was the case. And then the measure moved down, bam. This is our retail patterns and profit on that short. This is our retail patterns all weekend long. Yep, so we go from doing that to doing to our triple top. I'll take that out because that wick is just there. Would have been looking for this to come into this. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Then we're just looking at this little foot through here. It works. It works because it's all just a matter of somebody winning, somebody losing. So they work. Anybody that says they don't know no better. Why do they work? Because patterns are created when price action gets trapped between support and resistance. That's why. That's why they work. That's all it is. Price action gets trapped between support and resistance. And when that happens, you get a pattern because bulls are trying to push it up, bears are trying to break it down, and eventually one side wins. And that's all to it. There's no math behind it, nothing special on that other than that. And usually, when you have a rising wedge, um, I don't understand the construct behind that because with the rising wedge, you're putting it's the momentum that does it for the rising wedge. Like with the rising wedge, you'll look down at your momentum, so your RSI, your MACD per se, and then you'd be looking to see if with that push up, who actually is in control. And once you identify that, even though you're making higher highs and higher lows, you can determine more solidly in what direction that's going to break down or break up from. I don't know why that looks crooked. It's not though. But So like that rising wedge right there, you just end up looking down here. End up looking down here. Who's really running the show? Because we'll see the higher highs and the higher lows, which would indicate that market structure is up. But obviously, that push up wasn't as strong as it appeared. Not necessarily weak either, but not as strong. Because then once bears overpower the bulls right here in the situation, we go what? We go right here and we put in um, a bullish divvy right there. And we put in a bull div, and then we start this crazy um, like triple top pattern through here, which essentially at that point we are putting in lower highs and lower lows for the continuation down. And that would have been the entry right here, which probably pushed into like the, I don't know, this wick just messed everything up though. That wick most certainly messed everything up. It would have been that double top and break. Our short is playing out, even though we got it late, just for that little continuation. Or at least I did. I don't know if anybody else jumped in on this when I came on stream, but for me, I just not entered to a short. So SFP momentum, that was something that we were looking at there with this as well. See if we get some divergence in here though. Because if this is the triple top measured move, we might just be looking to take the liquidity um, from within these two lows right here. We'll see how we respond. Like I said, taking I guess it's buy side liquidity from this little triangle. Meant sell side, sell side liquidity from this little triangle. I think we had too much liquidity. Let's see, liquidity heat map here, or liquidation map. Yeah, we left some liquidity right up here. As far as the last 24 hours, not too much. Let's see, the last 48 hours. Yeah, last 48 hours would be taking that liquidity through here. Yeah. It's about what we're looking at right now. But they don't make free stuff easy on you. And they shouldn't. I think we want to do this a few times, so I'm going to move this. Um, I will say while Bitcoin is doing that, I'm not going to get into the stock market too much today, simply because it's Monday and it's more of a thing, in my opinion, for Tuesdays. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before market close, like the first couple of hours of Thursday. Um, but just taking a look back here at Microsoft here. All right, so with this, I did go ahead and take my long on it. I did it on Friday. I left it open to really not knowing what was going to happen in here, because if we do end up losing this level right here, then It's going to be some fun times. Right now, it is 200 EMA. It's also, the bottom side of the channel. This is something that we were watching for a few months actually to play out. A couple of weeks wouldn't be correct. It was about two or so months, a couple of months, 2 or so months that we were waiting on this to play out, falling behind this. I got to push that up a little bit. My bad. Falling behind the double top breakdown as we were looking for the gap to be filled. And then we know we had this channel in here. So I had posted, as we hit and hit it, I need to put a pin and take in my long position. But I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. Can we go lower? Absolutely, we can go lower. And in that case, it's just a loss, and I'll try it again some other time. But right through here, uh, not this chart, because, yeah, not this 4 hour. I think we're on, let's see, the monthly, the weekly. So weekly. Yeah, weekly. Yeah, so here, weekly. You can see we have the 200 right through here too. And it's not it's not foolproof, You can still break through this and go lower. For some reason, that's possible. But I did go ahead and just go ahead. I mean, I entered the loan. Let me just say that I entered the loan on the setup that we had here for Microsoft. Now I didn't do the one for Google, and we actually haven't hit that target yet on Google. And right here, I was just looking at where we got those breaks up on the RSI through here. So you can see right now there is no technical break of momentum back to the upside in here. Uh, and we can easily invalidate any sort of potential bullish divergence that we might be looking at in here right now. Uh, this is bears all day long. Like nothing in here implies that there's any strength to the upside right now in the weekly time frame. So if we do drop through here, I would look at this low here. But for some reason, I had this line going through here. I don't know if I was looking for something back here at that time. That would have been 2022. Uh, I don't know. I don't know why I had this line here, but it must have been something relevant to me. So I'm just gonna have to say after that, be looking in here. But for some reason, I got this line here, and this line is important. It's a chance we don't hold these highs again. We might even be able to look down here at this little low right here. But just this channel alone, right here, and it's only had 2 touches. Usually, when you come back for the third, well, a lot of times, in my experience of TA, usually when you come back from the third for the third, you hold. Like this creates the momentum or the support level, and then you start to hold. At least 1 or 2 more times, you'll hold it. So that's where I'm at here with this for Microsoft. I did enter into the long position on it. Like I said, with Amazon, I did not enter that long, and I'm not going to do too many of them. I'm just going to stick with Microsoft right now because I still have the Apple going on. But with Amazon here, um, and I have to find the correct panel, which I think is probably like panel 5. Go to panel 5. Let me see that I'm at panel 5 because, yeah, I think it's this one right here for Amazon. Let me do that. Yeah. Come on. I don't want to write anything. Cancel. This did move a little bit. Uh, right here. I think I initially had it set for like 189 or something like that. But as price action starts to come down, because I'm focusing on this trend line right here. So as price action starts to come down, then I'm being aware of that candlestick as it drops too. And so with that, I think it did move about $2 or something like that. Because I put this here. You have to think about how long ago it was that I put that there and said, yeah, I'm looking for something like that. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Because we had, yeah, it's actually a $3 difference. So you have to bear that in mind because we were here and we got the first one. Okay, my mouse will stop moving on me for a minute. But we were here, like we had just stopped, dropped down into here, and I was like, let's make a break for Amazon. So I'm looking for a long here. I'm looking for this long here, like we talked about on stream. Like I'm still looking for this long from here. Now that we finished this one right here out, and then the worst case scenario is going to be for it to come down into here. So we got through that, took the long from here, ended up taking that long, and you can see how we bounced up from there and that long played out. Still looking for this. I'm still looking for this. I can see this cloud rising over here. I mean, price action is above it, and that's sweet. Usually, it's just not a big deal when you see it like that. But I wish I'd have taken the short the day that we were streaming, though, because we were looking for that short as well and didn't do it. So we've had some pretty strong narratives on Amazon. But yeah, I'm still watching that trend line right there. It's the same trend line you can see across here for price action to come back and drop into that. And then, worst case scenario is that it continues to roll over and we end up seeing something like this would be, a dream, would be like a double top playing out, a measured move in here, which I don't think that happens. Um, but just so you know, that did move slightly because um, because it looks a little different there with price action and the move down. So those were the shorts for price action coming back to there, but I didn't take that one. We spoke on it and we watched the alarm. Well, we listened to the alarm go off as soon as we hit the top, but did not get into the short for this one, and should have did not get into the short for it, but so the measured move here, if we're doing it based on this high and the connection across here, now we can still do it for this this low down here. We can. I just like the fact that you can see how we were respecting through here these highs. I just go ahead and draw it from there though, um, and then we'll draw the other one as well, just to dot our I's and cross our T's. Try to be as correct as we can be, which is that. So let me change this to something a little bit more visible for us to see the candles there. And then if it was, just say I did it from here. Let me just find that top first. I did it from here. to that low. So that'll be, yeah. I mean, all roads lead back to this line down here. Um, which although you're not seeing the color blue, it is still that blue line. Um, that was from the old picture. So all roads lead back to that for me. So this may have to move slightly again because we're like this was months ago of projecting this months ago. Like that was October. It's the end of October. It's Halloween when I posted. Actually, no, it was October 15th when I posted that. So that's the middle of October of 2025. And here we are, February 2026. So it's gonna move a little bit, just so you're aware. We're just still trying to gauge this bottom line down here. I added a new one in here. Um, you see this area right here? I think I drew this off of a higher time frame. And that's why you get the little wick over right here. I did it from the weekly. But right here, uh, it's not gonna let me adjust that right now. Hold on. Why you gotta be so big? Don't be big again. But anyway, so you can see that's gonna bother me. Work on my awkwardness with charts. You can tell how much I love this. Like I love this. I love the psychology inside of analysis, technical analysis. I used to want to be a psychiatrist when I was younger. But yeah, you'll see that there was some, and that travels into this zone right here as well. So if for some reason, a massive spill off happens below this line right here, then that's something I would start to look at. But for now, for me, it is basically, what I've been looking at for the long haul has been this trend line right here. But just if for some reason I have to entertain that next one down there, I will. Just checking back on Bitcoin real quick, make sure we're still good there. We are still good there. Um, so yeah, here, and then if the worst crap happens, then maybe right in here. I think with this though, if I'm not mistaken, anyway. Let's see. I need to hide this TA. Let's group it all together for now. I'm gonna come back and get organized. I promise you, I will. If I'm on, just do the 3 month, for example. I think 3 month might be a little bit too far out there for me. But at least you can see from here, like what I'm eyeballing. Like that's 1, 2 touches. Like this creates this momentum to the upside here. So I'm gonna be looking for that. Uh, is there a possibility that you could have done this differently at one point? Maybe, but for me, that's what my eyes are showing. That's what my eyes showed me. Um, I don't know. Let me go to the monthly and see instead. Yeah. At first, it would have been. I'm gonna put this back though. Like this would have been the. My computer is lagging a little bit. Like this would have been the touch point for me right here. So yeah, I would have been like 1, 2. Then we didn't touch it there. We didn't touch it there, and we broke it here. So that's how it would have been for me. personally. I would not cut through the body of a candle. The only other way I would have drawn this out, I mean the line, the wick of a candle, I'm wick to wick all day long. Unless for some reason it's like some sort of a shady wick, I would have looked at that like that. Yeah, I absolutely would have done that, and then seen us break below right here. But um, from this low, that would have been my first touch point. So yeah, we would have went through that a little bit. So we'll see if that's going to be the case coming down. If we're going to break through that, then you have that other trend line that we highlighted in here as a level of interest with that zone too. I think it was these highs over here. So let's see. I was going to look at. Let's see. Let's start with this first here. Like this range of volatility is crazy. This is absolutely freaking bananas in here for Amazon. So yeah, it could drop all the way through here and still be in good standings. Just coming down here towards this 129, which at that point, like I said, I'd be looking. Well, at that point, this could become relevant. I don't like the width of volatility in here for it. I just don't at all. And if I hide, let me just put these. Let me see where this one is at. See if I have it blocked off as a ray. I don't, but I will block it off. Now let me just say rays. So now I know. What is this divs? Oh, that's all the mini bear divs that it had. All the mini bear divs that this had. So that's here on a monthly time frame, on a 3-month time frame. Not a lot here. But this is already broken like momentum. And I think we did so down here as well. Um, with this bear div through here. Didn't really can't say that there was much for structure through here. But yeah, momentum was broken here too. So we'll dance around a little bit before possibly going lower. But you can see right here off of this indicator right here. I'm doing it like that. And that was bounce. Uh, Actually, I would have did it like that. So bounce, bounce, break. So we could see this going lower. So I haven't entered anything on Amazon just yet. Nothing at all. There's something to note there for Amazon. Uh, yeah, yeah, this doesn't look too enticing. Doesn't look too enticing. It was just those two really I wanted to touch up on. The rest of it, we'll cover all of that tomorrow. Palantir, Nvidia, and that stuff there tomorrow. Market is about to open, so um, and put this back on Bitcoin for now. And we'll see if that money is still piling in here for Bitcoin, as we did, or I did at least. I just entered, of course, like I said, just with this looking like it was going to break, roll over right there. I went ahead and entered. I'm gonna put QTD back on. I can take away all of this over here that I just recently added just to talk about retail pattern formations. That's it. We did this. I can leave this here just so I can identify. Um, Actually, we already did that. We already got that liquidity right there, and that didn't seem to do anything for it. Yeah, we got that little liquidity right there. So we're done with that. We got this from the weekend, which let's see how we doing with this little underlying strength right here. Little underlying strength right there. You can see it. A little underlying strength right there, and I can see it right here too. As market is opening. You can see it right here too. Um, so we do have some underlying strength right here. We'll see if that money, like I said, we do have some money rolling in on that ETF for Bitcoin. So I'm gonna move my stop here on that Bitcoin position. Also, wanna adjust my stop on that. Even though I think the 4 hour still has a little bit of work to do. Stop loss, I'm not sure. Won't cost me much on that. Basically, I just put it back above that high right there. Um, Strength coming in here. We also held on that standard deviation one on the 4 hour time frame, which we have a squeeze there. So we're gonna see how today go. Like I said, got a lot of money piling in, um, long money, accumulation money piling in on Bitcoin. You know what this sort of reminds me of? Ooh, what this reminds me of as I look at this 4 hour, just the 4 hour itself, this 4 hour right here at this point reminds me of what we did in the beginning of our bull run in 2022. In 2022, recall right here, we did this right here. It looked like a double top. We went sideways for a while in here, but that's a 4 hour time frame that we're looking at now. But it reminds me of this little section right here. And that's what it reminds me of. It's so funny. And that's what that looks like. All right, just 3 more minutes till market opens. I'm gonna shout out my thank yous to everyone who stopped by today to hang out with your girl down to Crypto TA. Yeah, if something comes up today, I don't know. More than likely, I'm just gonna wait until Tuesday unless something major comes in today um, to get back into the signals because it's really we're like within this very fine range right now, and you can see it from the 4 hour time frame too. Like if you put on your Bollinger Band, like you can see that very fine range that we're in at least until we get that squeeze out of this contraction that we're in. tell you what though, that 4 hour, put it on those three for a sec here. What that 4 hour does, um, no validation of the head and shoulders just yet. I'm at the double top here just yet. No validation of that just yet. We'll see. This don't have don't see it on that MACD at all. A little bit of weakness through here. But yeah, you could even see right here how we held that standard deviation 1 right there. So if I had like Bollinger Zone right here, like you would see the same thing here, where we held standard deviation 1, and we're putting in a squeeze. So volatility, yeah, it's right here. We held standard deviation 1 right here with that 786 as well. I'm always looking for price action to return to the mean, but most of the time breaks the mean and focus on the 2 down here, which is 1 and 2. So yeah, we have a little thin range through here. You can figure out what's going on in here at some point. Market is open. Market is open. And let me just double check back over here. A bit. Let me just see. Once it loads up. Yeah, Yeah, so basically what I said to you on earlier this morning, like after those options started expiring on Friday, we just got pushed back into that $40 level right through there, maybe a little bit higher, but that was it. Just because so many of them were closing out, going into the weekend market closure. But this is the last price right here. This is about what we did Friday when we saw the little pump that we did get through here. So we don't flip gamma positive again until we get above what uh, 40 oh sorry 43.60 somewhere over here for a bit, and then here um, we don't have to be on pre-market anymore. Again, usually we do it from here. Let's see, let's go with that there. Let's see what, yeah, I don't think we changed too much right there. I think we were like 16 or something like that earlier. Not really sure. I think we were. So yeah, I mean yeah. Um 38 right here is building up. 37, 44. So some new puts. Some new puts. Not as many new calls, but this is still dominant. It's still dominant. So, with that said, that's where I'm going to end things at for today. Amazon falling over a little bit, like we were just discussing. I need to make sure Microsoft isn't falling over because I don't want to get screwed on my Microsoft position. Set it on a 4 hour now. Set it on a 1 hour. Let's watch that 1 hour. I'm gonna have a little bearish divergence in here on Microsoft, but nonetheless, I'm feeling pretty good about Microsoft right now. Yep. that's where I'm going to leave things off with you. And I'll see you in the morning. If anything relevant really comes up for Bitcoin, let's just say out the 4 hour time frame, if anything switches on the 4 hour time frame, then I will be sure to let you know. So you can follow me on X at Down the Crypto TA. You can also follow the Coin King at the Coin King. That's with the DA um, on X also. Love ya. Peace.